Last week I ran the Spartan Beast race, and it was the 6th time I've done that.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
I was pretty anxious before this race because I have not prepared well. I haven't gotten in much mileage with my bad foot. And last year I went so hard, I almost killed myself at the end. I was honestly scared I was going to pass out and have to go to the hospital when I finished. So I was worried about that since the temperature was 104 in Salt Lake that day. Obviously up in the mountains, it's a little bit cooler, but still it was hot and sunny. And so I was a little bit worried about the race that day. It's interesting how sometimes as you're running a race or shooting for something, you get everything you got, you want to go for a PR. And then sometimes as it gets more difficult and you're running behind, you might say, well, okay, maybe not my best, but I want to do well. And then you keep negotiating down. Okay, I just want to finish. And then I eventually got to the point where I just don't want to get hurt. So I was really going a lot slower, walking more on some of those steep parts where I'd usually try and run. And so it was slower than usual this year, but I just wanted to be able to finish it.
That's why no one will remember your name.
This year I missed 4 of the obstacles and had to do extra running for penalty loops on those. The first one was on the dumb Z wall. My giant 30 clown shoes kept slipping off those little pegs. Ended up running some more. The Olympus, I don't know how you can do that if you're over 5'7". I mean, I'm just so long trying to get myself over there. And then I messed up on monkey bars and the multi-rig, slipped off a couple times on that. So just so you know, my upper body strength is off the chart. And by off the chart, I mean off the chart in the negative. It's so bad that there's not even a place for it. So I need to start lifting again. It's been a long time since I've been doing resistance training like I should. So I can see a big need for that again. So besides those 4 obstacles I failed during the race, the other 26 weren't quite so bad. I mean, they weren't easy, but by comparison, not so bad. Things like bucket carry, sandbag carry, rope climb, crawling under barbed wire, jumping over fences, cargo nets, things like that. And I'm happy to report I nailed the spear throw again this year. I did not want to do burpees at the end of that race in the state I was in. So overall, I'm not going to say it was fun, but it was a very challenging event. I'm glad I finished it. The one thing that's kind of hard and frustrating though is when I did my first Spartan Beast in 2013, I did it in 3.5 hours. This one was closer to 5.5. And so I'm taking longer with age. It's kind of frustrating, but also it's hard to compare 2 of the same races, even if they're supposed to be the same distance, because they're different places. A lot of times the altitude is going to vary, the order of the events, how crowded the field is. And so it's not like a high rocks race where everything's just exact every stage you get to, but there's a lot of variables there. So in that way, it's kind of hard to compare one race to another. But I thought I did really bad because I was slowing, but I actually did better than 2024 and about 15 minutes slower than last year. So even though I took it kind of easy, I was happy to get the time I did. So that's the recap of how this last race went. But I do need to give a little bit of an honest review, some honest feedback about the Spartan races. I've done 10 of them now with them. And as a loyal participant, it's kind of frustrating on the race that all you've got is water. Sometimes they used to have gel packs. They had bananas last year, half a banana like every 3 or 4 miles. This year, nothing but water. It's sitting out in the sun, so usually it's warm. I appreciate the volunteers. I'm grateful for the water. But man, you're doing something that's taking people 3 to 6 hours to complete in the sun in that kind of temperature, and you need to have better fuel. So I feel bad for the people that didn't know what to expect, that just signed up, thought it would be like a 5K or half marathon with treats every couple miles, because they would have been hating life. And the people that started later in the day, it must have been brutal because it was rough and I had the early start. So for how expensive the Spartan races can be to run, I mean, they can be up to 150, up to $250, depending the distance and when you sign up and that sort of thing. So I think they don't need to be so chintzy on the food and fuel. Afterwards, you get a couple little things, but it's not nothing like a lot of half marathons and marathons where they really take care of you after and during the race. Another thing I'm not super excited about is the shirt. Even though I like this shirt, I did one a race a couple months ago in Colorado. It was a sprint, a short one, and it's this same shirt, but it's got a little red thing on the sleeve. That's the only difference between this one and the Beast, and I'll get a blue one in a couple months in Idaho. But I wish they had a little more variety between the shirts so it doesn't look like you're wearing the same shirt all the time when you run 3 races in the year. Anyway, that's my update for this year's Spartan Beast race, and I'm just glad I made it through without serious injuries. I'm sore as can be, but it could be a lot worse.
It was really tough. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a different ball game, but I had a blast.
Join me next week. I'll have another video. Hopefully it'll be more entertaining than this one.
Push the button.
Do it.